hold on, but you can't wait too long to make the decision, because you don't just get to say, oh, it starts next week, I want in. There's paperwork you have to have in place and everything else. It's a process to get accepted into the program. So your timing is good. It'll start in July, so you've got plenty of time to do all. Thank you.
State for this state is on probation, this court for criminal responsibility conviction. The allegation is that she has been non-compliant and the child has missed 283 hours of school. How do you want it?
Son or daughter? How old is he? Go ahead, counsel.
What do you want to tell the judge?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember me, but it's the same thing from me. For me, having seizures for the past 4 years. So virtual, I think this is from virtual, because my mom goes to school every day. I think this is virtual from Fridays, where he's missing the 200 and something hours. I am going to talk to him. I actually did talk to the principal, not even knowing this. We're talking about summer school for him because he's a grade behind, and I'm trying to get him to go to summer school so he can graduate next year with his class.
Okay.
Well, he's supposed to, you know.
Okay.
So,
Does he struggle with traditional seat in the butt or butt in the seat chair, school? Does he have trouble with all that? Then why is he doing virtual on Fridays?
that's what the school do, virtual.
Okay.
But sometimes he do go in, they do let the kids go in from, I think it's from like, 7:45 to 3 o'clock. The earliest he could pick them up is 12 o'clock. But neither one of my kids that go there, they just rather do virtual. So my other son, he's doing good on there. Mine, I thought he was on mine.
Let me give you something to look into. Look into the Michigan Youth Challenge Academy. If Ahmad went to the challenge, it'll start sometime in July. By Christmas, he's done with high school. Depending on how many high school credits he has when he starts that program, he might even come out of the program with some college credits. Okay? Completely done with, it doesn't cost you a thing. Okay? The downside for most kids is that's 5.5 months in Battle Creek while mom and everybody else is here. So a lot of kids can't handle the homesickness. But I've sent scores and scores of kids there in the last 20 plus years. I think it's probably the best program that I'm aware of, especially for free, that gives a kid a chance to completely reinvent him or herself. The main thing I see with the kids that go through there is kids that have never been really excited about their options for the future because they've been, beat up, school's been a struggle, whatever. They walk out of there and their feet aren't touching the ground because they feel like they can do anything. And it doesn't take long for life to change their mind, but they feel like they can do anything. So I don't know what Ahmad thinks he wants to do post high school, but he'll be exposed to the military. He'll be exposed to trade schools. They've actually got a program after the first 5.5 months. If he wants to go into the trades, there's another program that he can get into. Okay. So it's Michigan Youth Challenge Academy. It's jointly funded by the state of Michigan. It's actually part of the state police budget and the National Guard.
It's something like child support?
No, it's like boot camp meets community college. Okay. It's highly structured, and I mean highly structured. The military recruiters love to sign kids up that go through the challenge because most people that get into the armed forces, most people that leave within the first year because they don't realize what they're getting into. Kids that go through the challenge, it's a seamless move right into boot camp because boot camp is highly structured. All right. So literally, and I'm going to make up times because I don't know what time everything is. But for example, they wake the kids up at 7 o'clock. By 7:15, they got to be up, ready, standing in line for chow. All right. Breakfast is from 7:15 to 8:30. I'm making this up. At 8:30, they go out and they do, an hour and a half of calisthenics. Then they're in class for 3 hours. Then they do this. And then they're in class for another couple hours. It's literally like from early in the morning till 9 o'clock at night when it's lights out. Okay. Super structured environment. Most kids don't get that. Most kids thrive when they do. All right. So I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying that's something you should probably look at because it might be real good for him.
Well,
But, hold on, but you can't wait too long to make the decision because you don't just get to say, oh, it starts next week. I want in. There's paperwork you have to have in place and everything else. It's a process to get accepted into the program. So your timing is good. It'll start in July. So you've got plenty of time to do all the paperwork and get everything lined up if he wants to do that. Okay. All right. So let's get back to business. All right, so, but we agree that while you're on this delayed sentence, his attendance has still been a problem. Right? Okay, so the prosecutor's asking me just to close this file and enter the conviction. You understand that? Have you talked about it?
Yeah, we did. You know, it's rough with the seven.
Yeah, I know.
They
Yeah.
live in their own world.
he actually works at the.
He works where? I'm sorry?
Now, I'm saying for 3 years.
Good.
I didn't want to go to retail, but I stayed here today.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we're thinking about trying to get him in some kind of program, maybe he might be interested in being an officer. I never thought about that, but I was just like, is it something that?
Tell him to check out the challenge.
Okay.
Because I'm going to guess he's not one of those kids that's all into the high school stuff, like with proms and homecoming dances and all that kind of stuff. That's the,
He's a good kid.
no, I'm not suggesting he is. I'm suggesting that the challenge does real well with kids that just school isn't really their thing.
Yeah, trades.
Yeah,
I have two sons who are electricians. And by the way, the older one's making more money than I've ever made.
Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of guys in the trades that are doing 6 figures all day long. All day long. Yeah. Yeah.
He want to go to nursing school.
Mhm.
To graduate on time.
Graduate.
I'm telling you, he'll be done by Christmas if he goes to the challenge. And here, there's only 2 reasons, well, 3 if you count getting pregnant, but that's not going to be his problem. There's only 3 reasons I've seen kids that I sent there not finish. One kid, and I remember him very well, he was challenged. They worked with him and they worked with him and they worked with him. He just couldn't handle the schoolwork. Okay. He had pretty serious IEPs when he was in school and he just couldn't cut the academics. Other than that, and I've seen more than one have this problem, attitude. You know, because it's boot camp, right? They're yelling, get in line. You got 30 seconds. It's time to go to chow, you know, and they get in your face and they do. And if he can't bite his tongue and he's got to say what he wants to say, it doesn't work well. So as long as he can tamp down an attitude. So if he doesn't have an attitude problem and he's willing to do what they tell him to do, he'll be fine. Is he kind of a physical guy? Like athletics?
Yeah, he kind of working out.
Yeah. So it's real physical, right? It's calisthenics. Check it out online. It might be a really good program for it. All right. Anything else, ladies?
Yeah, Job Corps is another good program, but
I'm telling you, Job Corps won't do what this will do for him. And once again, it's 5.5 months away from home and you can't even see him for the first 2 weeks. They won't even let him have visitors for the first 2 weeks. Once that first 2 weeks is up, then you can schedule visits and, you know, talk on the phone, that kind of stuff. There's a lot. Go online. You check it out and then get him to check it out. All right. Anything else?
they got the job where you're another welder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. But
Yep.
sounds pretty.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to close that file, conviction will enter. You're on a payment plan on some other stuff now. You got a payment coming up the end of the month, next week. Okay, you're good. Good luck, Mom.
Okay, good luck. Good luck with that. Thank you.
In this courtroom segment, Judge Oakley hears the case of Ms. Barker, who appears before the court regarding a parental responsibility violation connected to her children's school attendance. Early in the hearing, Ms. Barker formally enters a guilty plea, and the court accepts the school's attendance records as accurate evidence. As the proceedings continue, her defense explains that beginning in September, Ms. Barker faced significant health problems that made it difficult for her to properly monitor and manage her children's attendance at school. While acknowledging these personal struggles, the court emphasizes that regular school attendance remains an important responsibility. Judge Oakley then shifts the discussion toward practical solutions, highlighting the importance of structure, routine, and discipline in a child's daily life. He explains how creating a stable environment can help improve attendance and overall development, while also reminding those involved that meaningful change takes time and requires commitment. The judge further discusses the need to stay on top of paperwork, eligibility requirements, and other responsibilities to ensure long-term success. Throughout the hearing, the court balances accountability with understanding, recognizing the challenges Ms. Barker has faced while stressing the importance of taking corrective steps moving forward. The case serves as a reminder that family difficulties can impact education, but consistent effort, support, and proper structure are essential to helping children stay on the right path.